Ahsanul Hafiz wins Scarborough Southwest Ontario Liberal nomination, beats Nate Erskine-Smith. How awkward is that? You ever been that person that you were working at your job and you were passed over for a promotion, didn't get that raise you wanted, so you decide to figure out, well, maybe I want another job, only to leave your resignation, say the date that you're leaving, and then not get the new job? Yeah, that was Nate Erskine-Smith today. Let's take a look. Ahsanul Hafiz wins Scarborough Southwest Ontario Liberal nomination, beats Nate Erskine-Smith. Business owner Ahsanul Hafiz has won this heated battle to become the provincial Liberal candidate in Scarborough Southwest. In his speech Saturday, Hafiz thanked voters and his team for coming out in support. Quote, "Because of you guys, I'm here today," end quote. He said, quote, "I know everyone put in a lot of effort, and that is the beauty of democracy," end quote. Speaking to reporters after the nomination, Hafiz said he's feeling great, but also tired. Quote, "It was very difficult to sleep last night. It's a very high-tension nomination race. I had never seen a nomination race like this," end quote. Hafiz says he spent his campaign engaging with the public. Now he wants to enjoy it with them. Quote, "The whole community was behind me. I want to share the moment with my community today," end quote. 3 others were vying to be the party's candidate in the riding: Kadra Jackson, Mahmouda Nazrin, and current Beaches East York MP Nate Erskine-Smith. Organizers for the candidates have for weeks been signing up new members who voted using a ranked ballot system. The local campaign was tense, with apparent coalitions forming between candidates in a bid to defeat Erskine-Smith. Jackson and Hafiz appeared to have struck a verbal agreement of support in a bid to block the MP from winning. They both urged their supporters to back the other candidate as their second choice on their ranked ballots. Erskine-Smith ran for the nomination as part of his second bid to become Ontario Liberal leader. He finished a strong second to former leader Bonnie Crombie in the 2023 race and was a local critic of her ahead of the review that led to her resignation last September. While the future of that bid remains unclear, Erskine-Smith raised the possibility of challenging the results of Hafiz's win. Quote, "There was a ton of scrutineers in there, lots of stories about what's happening inside. But I've got to debrief," end quote, he said in the rainy parking lot of the school where the voting took place after initially trying to dodge reporters. Quote, "I've spoken to a few scrutineers already who said they've never seen anything like it, and it's unreal what happened in there," end quote. He suggested there was a large number of voters with quote-unquote ID issues, though Erskine-Smith's chief of scrutineers signed off on all the results. Hafiz said he doesn't want to focus too much on Erskine-Smith's allegations, noting that the hallways were filled with people wearing Hafiz badges. Quote, "So that is the clear evidence of who is the real winner," end quote, he said, adding he thought the process was fair and that the Ontario Liberal Party did quote-unquote an excellent job. Erskine-Smith had previously said he would resign his federal seat once the provincial by-election was called. He posted an 11th-hour video to social media of him speaking to Prime Minister Mark Carney, who says he hopes to see Erskine-Smith working for the people of Scarborough. The by-election was triggered by the shocking defection of the former Ontario NDP deputy leader and Scarborough Southwest MPP Dolly Begum, who quit that post to run in the same riding for the federal Liberal Party. Her resignation opened the seat provincially, and Erskine-Smith announced a short time later he would seek the party's nomination in a bid to win a seat at Queen's Park. Oh man, Nate Erskine-Smith, what a run he has had. Like, I mean, what a run. So, he was made cabinet minister when Mark Carney first won the leadership of the Liberal Party, and then it went to an election. In anticipation of being named again, what he decided to do was sell all of his stock just to be ready for the conflict of interest disclosure. And then what happened is he wasn't named to cabinet. So, Then he comes out and criticizes the budget and effectively admits that my kids and their grandkids are going to be paying for this deficit for a long, long time. Then he says, all right, I'm done. I'm going to run for the leadership of the Ontario Liberal Party. Then he decides that he's going to run for this seat. Probably just assumed he would get it. And now he's almost saying, he's saying it without saying it, that there was some cheating going on. That's what's coming through the lines there. He's not coming right out and saying it was cheating, but there was some colluding going on between the different candidates to try and stop Erskine Smith from winning. But isn't it interesting when the Liberals cheat to out-cheat another Liberal? That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And now Erskine Smith is saying, oh, well, you know, I'm probably going to challenge the result of that election. It's kind of Trumpian, isn't it? Sounds Trumpian to me. Isn't that what Trump does, is challenge the result of the elections? And that's what the mainstream media calls anybody who challenges any results of any elections. They call them Trumpian. Isn't that what Nate Erskine Smith is? Trumpian for doing that? Man. So tells everybody he's leaving. I'm going to resign as soon as the actual by-election's called. Counted his chickens before they were hatched. Because obviously he just assumed he would be the confirmed candidate. Maybe he just assumed that nobody would run against him. Figured wrong, Nate. Now, it's quite embarrassing. I'll say that, because now he has to decide, oh, well, am I going to continue on? And this is going to present kind of a problem for Nate, because he essentially said to his constituents that voted for him a year ago, well, thanks for voting me in. I'm leaving, and I'll be running just as the Ontario provincial MPP. So thanks very much for, throwing all the support behind me, donating a bunch of money, volunteering, busting your butts. Yeah, thanks. I don't need that. I'm gonna use a bunch of volunteers and do the exact same thing again. And now he has to face those same people and say, oh, so yeah, I'm going to continue to be your MPP or your member of parliament until I can find another way to get out of the federal party, and another way to run for the Ontario leadership, and another way to get a seat within the provincial party. How awkward is that? And what does that say to your constituents? What do you think about that, Liberals? You voted this guy in a year ago. He said he's going to resign as soon as the by-election's called. Well, now he's not going to be running in that by-election, so I guess he's not going to be resigning, is he? And he puts out this video of him and Mark Carney trying to kind of show people that Mark Carney is endorsing Nate Erskine Smith. So what does it mean when the actual voters of this riding don't listen to Mark Carney and don't listen to you and don't endorse you, so you don't, in fact, win? This is a crazy scenario that's unfolding in Nate Erskine Smith's riding right now, folks. And if I'm a voter and I'm a Liberal, I'm not too happy with him right now. Because he bellyached about not being picked for cabinet. He bellyached about the Liberal budget. He basically said he was resigning, but he didn't get the new job. Now what?